please.
Okay, we're gonna get started.
Let's go.
This time is 6:30. Board of Education meetings called to order. Board of Education in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 entitled the Open Public Meetings Act. The time, date, and location of this meeting was appropriately advertised by notifying the retrospect, as well as posting notices in the Borough Hall, Runnemede Post Office, Maryville School, Airline Vineyard School, Grace Downey School, and the Runnemede Public School District website. Please stand for the flag salute. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call. Ms. Adair, Ms. Beebe, Ms. Davidson,
Yes, here.
Ms. Farrell,
Here.
Mr. Lego,
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien,
Here.
Ms. Panzarello,
Here.
Ms. Sams, Ms. Spalding. We have a quorum. Also present, Mr. Iannucci, myself, Mr. Peely, Principal Bowles, Ms. Hubbard, Director of Special Education. I need a motion and a second for approval of the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from that date.
October 16th.
Second?
Motion made by Marie Panzarello, seconded by Ian Davidson. Any questions? Seeing none, roll call vote. Ms. Davidson,
Yes.
Ms. Farrell,
Yes, I'm sorry.
Mr. Lego,
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien, Ms. Panzarello.
Yes.
It's a majority of who's present. I may be placing that back on the agenda during December. Next at this time, we have staff recognition. Mr. Iannucci.
Sure. We're going to have Mr. Peely come on up and get us started here with our special dedication and recognition this evening. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Appreciate you guys giving me the time. If I could also have Ms. Carbone and Ethan come on up. Ethan is a student in Ms. Carbone's class. So, you know, we all know that education is a lot of hustle and bustle. I think as a parent, though, the one thing that we value the most, we send our children to school, and we just want them to come back to us safe. So, a month ago, a couple weeks ago?
Yep.
I found this out. I found it out through a nurse, wasn't what Ms. Carbone told me. Ethan was eating lunch.
Yeah.
Bit off a little more than he could chew, right? Got a little something lodged in his throat. Without hesitation, Ms. Carbone went into emergency mode and performed some emergency techniques, helped him dislodge the food. You know, went to the nurse that had him checked out and everything. And we want to recognize Ethan and Ms. Carbone for protecting. So, on behalf of the Board of Education, administration, and of course the Wallace family, you know I don't get emotional. I don't even know why. Ellie Carbone, Runnemede School District presents Ellie Carbone in recognition for your dedication and commitment to your students. With heartfelt thanks, we would like to acknowledge your ability to stay calm and composed under an intense situation within your classroom. All family, come up and get a picture maybe with our hero and our...
I know more than
Every time I'm in a room, you want a picture of it. Get that, that's what we're
We love you, thank you.
Oh my gosh, love you guys.
Come on, that's us, guys.
Thanks again for your time.
At this time, we have public comment on agenda items only. Public is reminded that they should attempt to resolve problems and or complaints through initial contact with staff member or members involved therein, and the chief school administrator prior to petitioning the Board of Education. Complaints should only be brought to the board after the appropriate school staff has had a reasonable opportunity to resolve the problem at the school level. Statements should be limited to topics to be addressed on the published agenda and limited to length in 3 minutes. Do we have anyone with public comments on agenda items? Seeing none, I will move it over to Mr. Iannucci for the superintendent's report.
District enrollment is still steady at 836 students, including 3 out-of-district replacements. District district activities. We had parent-teacher conferences last week, which were very heavily attended. Thanking those parents, as well as the teachers who made accommodations. The parents wanted able to come to those 3 days of conference days. They were able to come to them in, on the phone, all times, so I always appreciate that out of our staff as well. Veterans Day activities took place as well last week on Monday and Tuesday. Thank you to all those people who participated. Thank you to the administration and the staff for setting those things up as well. I saw some pictures on Facebook or any other social media outlets. Very well attended and well deserved to recognize these veterans. CUSAC monitoring, the other day, Dr. McCarron. We're preparing for CUSAC, which is going to take place later on in 2025. Just to remind you, that's the comprehensive accountability review from the New Jersey Department of Education. It basically evaluates the school districts in 5 components: instruction program, fiscal, governance, operations, and personnel. It's a lot of paperwork. Eyes across the T's. There's some interviews. We'll have to have 1 or 2 board members sit in, want some interviews, like be a part of for that again. So I'm reaching out to you if you're interested. Send me an email. It doesn't take a long time. It's just part of the drill. It's the holiday season, so I want to thank our holiday committee for organizing, collecting baskets next week for the distribution for Thanksgiving. And then they're already starting to gather things for giving trade, things like that. So I know some people reached out and want to get involved, so I'll be letting you know how you can participate in that. So thank you for that. School board elections took place 2 weeks ago. Congratulations to, and they're here tonight, Mrs. Davey, Mrs. Warner, and Mrs. O'Brien for your election to the school board. We're excited to have new members as well as Ms. O'Brien stay on the team, so that's awesome. And I know I emailed you too. Any questions, please call me, email me, text me, or whatever. We can set something up. Dr. McCarron also has some information to give you, so we're excited to have it. Congratulations to the field hockey team for Volts. They won their 3rd straight championship in a row, which is always awesome. 2-0 Berlin, right?
They want, they want to.
Championship game, so we're happy them. Hopefully get them out maybe later on this year, recognize them. I know we have some sweatshirts to order from them as well, so we're happy with them. Congratulations to Ms. Ayuso and the coaching staff for that. And our next board meeting, that said, will be December 18th here at 6:30. So if you have any questions, I can shoot.
And the only thing I'll add with that board meeting date is that our reorganization meeting is Monday, January 6th. So that's not a normal date that we have throughout the month, but that has to be done within the first 10 days of the new year. So that's when new members will be Monday, January 6th, because then we also want to make sure we don't overlap with other things. Okay, Business Administrator Curriculum Report. Many of the board members attended the New Jersey School Boards Association Convention, as did administration throughout the district. We attended different workshops and things like that to get credits in certain areas in order to keep our certifications and also professional development opportunities. November 15th just passed. That's a huge date in my office for both curriculum and financials because we are responsible for reporting to the state on a number of different areas. A lot of the reports that we do submit have a direct effect then on state aid numbers in terms of our enrollment, ensuring the fact of where those numbers are for our preschool enrollment, also for upcoming years. So that way we put all those numbers in and we report that to the state to identify what we're doing for 25-26, and that has a direct correlation. We're in the process of finalizing the audit. For the most part, everything's done, and usually that will be done in December or January where we'll get that information. In the past, the auditors have always been delayed, waiting for their auditing standards to come out. So Mr. Calavito will be keeping you updated on that. As Mr. Iannucci said, a lot of things right now revolve around CUSAC preparation, making sure that we're pulling all the reports and documents from the past year, so that way the state's able to check off their boxes in the areas that they are looking for. Right now, I know it's still the fall, but we are preparing for the spring assessment period. So uploading a lot of the things, whether it be for DLM for our special education students, access testing for our multilingual learners, or our regular state testing that takes place in the spring months. That stuff gets uploaded now, and then we have to make all the adjustments of anything that took place as we get closer to that date. And then also, I am participating in our county curriculum consortium meeting. This year they're focusing on MTSS, multi-tier support systems, and that is through Rutgers University that is coming in and working with all the school districts in the county on that topic. That's all I have. Any questions on reports? We have principals reports, nurses, building and grounds, special ed. Do you have anything for the PTA? I know that they're
Pretzels with
co-hosting
police is
pretzels
tomorrow.
with police if you want to stop by after. I know that the bingo went well for the first bingo. So I know that they were happy with the turnout for that. Anything else? Any county reports? No, we're good.
The next New Jersey School Boards Association meeting, I believe is December 3rd or 4th, and it's at Winslow Township Middle School, and the topic will be budgeting in like this crisis of, inflation. I think that's the topic of it. So it's also for board BAs as well, superintendents as well. It's a hybrid, so you could go or you could do it online, but register with New Jersey School Boards if you're interested in going to that.
And board members are able to register themselves for that. If you're unable to, just let me know and I can also register you as
Okay.
well. Going along that, I apologize, I'm just going to say one more thing. I went to a tri-county meeting, which was Camden County, Burlington, and Gloucester, and someone from the Department of Education joined us at that. When I do budget and I present to you guys on the budget, I always go over our our ESEA grants, which is our federal grants. So that is Title I, Title II, Title III, Title IV, our IDEA for special education. Whenever I budget those grants each year, they always tell us to budget less 15%, 15 to 20%. And usually we end up getting flat funded on those areas. The one thing that the representative directly from the state, from Trenton, not from the county, was stating was with the federal grants that we should be expecting not to receive that money back. As in, when they tell us to bring it down 15%, it's probably going to remain as a 15% reduction from where we saw. That is what they are expecting, and but I've never, in my years, that is not something that I've been told, so we'll see what happens when the numbers actually do come out. Those numbers also do not come out, so you guys approved the budget in April. However, those numbers for the ESEA grant do not come out until June. So many times, because that's a grant fund, we then make those adjustments when those numbers officially come out in June from there. So just so you're aware of that as well. Any other questions for reports? Okay, seeing none, we'll go into approvals on agenda items. For property and transportation, I need a motion and a second for items 1 through 3.
I'll make that motion, items 1, 2, 3.
Second?
Motion made by Dennis Lego, second by Naomi Davidson. Any questions? Seeing none, roll call vote. Ms. Davidson?
Yes.
Ms. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Lego?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Motion passes. Under personnel, I need a motion and a second for items 1 through 8.
I'll make a motion to approve items 1 through 8 under personnel.
Motion made by Marie Panzarella, seconded by Heather Farrell. Any questions? Seeing none, Ms. Davidson?
Yes.
Ms. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Lego?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Motion passes. Under curriculum instruction, we have nothing this evening. Under policy and public relations, I need a motion and a second for items 1 through 6.
I'll make it.
I have a motion made by Marie Panzarella. Do I have a second?
I'll make a second.
Second by Dennis Lego. Do I have any questions?
Is it number 11 or 6?
Yeah.
1 through 11 was, oh, I'm sorry. I jumped. I skipped finance altogether. So I'm going to back up a little bit. I apologize. I'm just rushing through it. Finance is my office would not be happy with me at all on that one. Under finance, I'm sorry, can I get a motion and a second for items 1 through 11? Motion made by Heather Farrell. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Lisa O'Brien. So under finance,
I still make that motion.
okay, we'll go back to that. Under finance, 1 through 11, do we have any questions? I apologize. Seeing none, roll call vote. Ms. Davidson?
Yes.
Ms. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Lego?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Okay, we have nothing under curriculum and instruction. Under policies and public relations, I had a motion on the table from Maria Panzarella, seconded by Dennis Lego. Any questions? Seeing none, roll call vote. Ms. Davidson?
Yes.
Ms. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Lego?
Yes.
Ms. O'Brien?
Yes.
Ms. Panzarella?
Yes.
Motion passes. Recognition of citizens and staff. Do we have anyone in the public to comment on non-agenda items. Ms. Fonderstein.
I never did this one. I just wanted to say that it's been a great start to the school year. And just on behalf of the teachers and paras, the PTA has been treating us every month with these great little things, and administration's been doing a lot of fun things like little contests and incentives, and it's just been a really nice start to the year. So
That's nice to hear.
thank you. So thanks.
Let's go, admin.
Any other questions or comments?
So I have a comment. So as we all know, I'm new to bowls again for like the third time. And you know, I think no one really understands, I did not, how dismissal year is until you're at dismissal year. And I don't know that there's enough words. I know that we had Brooks last year. I know we have a new resource officer. But watching Mr. Peely and Mr. Maloney go into full-blown like survival mode in some of these cases is pretty cool to watch. There were a couple days we had no crossing guard. I was the crossing guard until Mr. Peely got there. But I think like with a new crossing guard, a new resource officer, there's some like protocols that have been lost. And Mr. Peely brought them to light that day so that they've been followed since. I just personally, I'm not speaking as a board member, I'm speaking as a parent. And I thank you for what you two do at dismissal. I think it's huge. I really do. Considering, but when it hasn't been, there's calls going in over the radios that I'm standing there hearing. Again, I appreciate you. I know Mr. Maloney had some conflicts tonight, but I can't say enough. I appreciate you. Now, as a board member, so can we start working on so we all know that my child comes to convention with me. So, although we all know I've taken enough classes to teach them, I sat through a lot of like student showcases, and Christopher's question last year at school, because the keynote speaker was Carly Lloyd, and he loved soccer, so that was great. Some of the student showcases were very not good last year. This year, some of them were great. So he said, can we go to Bowles's? And I was like, oh, we don't have them. So maybe we could try to find, I know my son's in gifted and talented 4th and 5th grade, and Mr. Benoit's awesome with them. It could be them, it could be 6th, 7th, 8th. Maybe if we start thinking about it now, we could have a student showcase next year. I think we have, you know, the 2 newly elected people, myself, Lisa, do you have an 8th grader, right?
7.
So she'll have 1 student. It would be pretty cool to be able to say, like, these kids, my kids go to school with these kids. Just a thought, but since we have a year almost to plan. We have some pretty cool staff members that could probably compete with some of what we saw. But I also will say, this was the best convention in my 16 years. It really was. So.
Any other comments? Okay, as Ms. Trianucci said, our next Board of Education meeting is December 18th in the Marygold Library. And then Monday, January 6th is our reorganization meeting.
That's still at 6:30, right?
6:30. Do we have a motion and a second to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Marie Panzarella, seconded by, was that Lisa O'Brien? Lisa O'Brien, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Meeting is adjourned at 6:49.